I found my very first journal that I ever owned that my friend bought me, and I read all of my 2018 journal entries. Start journaling now, because in 5 years, in 10 years, this is 10 years ago almost, you're going to want to look back on it, and you're going to see who you are, who you were, and who you've become. And gosh, it's amazing. I want to share this journal entry, May 13th of 2019. I was just a little 24-year-old. This was not my first quantum leap, but I thought it was because it was the first one I noticed and felt. I took too much time off of journaling. I've felt disconnected. My new job is putting a lot of negative stress on me and into my life. I remember this job. Okay, this is the last job I ever worked that I hated. And this was the first time similar to my journey here in Tennessee, where I just quit and was like, I'm going to manifest something better. I've been blaming people outside of me for my disconnection and unhappiness. Such a wise little girl. I felt myself getting road rage again, and I was being so impatient every day. I knew during these moments I didn't want that mindset anymore. I didn't want to draw negative things and experiences my way, but it felt so hard to shift how I truly felt. I underlined truly, meaning I was saying the words, lying to myself, and I didn't believe that. I knew all the words to say to myself to stop, but I didn't believe any of it. So I took a step back to look at what I had changed to be having these types of days. I stopped reading, mostly because I finished my book, but I didn't try to find a new one either. I stopped journaling. I haven't meditated in a while. So I'm going to make it quick because this is a 2-week period. I'm not going to read 2 weeks of journal entries. Work was really hard. I had a terrible boss. Terrible. Okay? I can see the good in everything. May 30th, I was like, work has gotten so much better. Yay! July 15th. Today, I quit my job. Completely unexpected for everyone. I feel cowardly, but I also can't imagine going back there tomorrow. I never want to go back. I felt so low there. I know there are lessons I will take from this place. Not sure if I took any. I'm always a student in life, but you guys, it was dark. It was dark. I was just applying to jobs. I was like, I'm not staying in a toxic environment out of fear for money. I was taught by society to stay with your employer, be loyal, be responsible, but I know that staying there was taking a toll on me. It was affecting me negatively. It made me lose sight of the mindset I've worked so hard to achieve. I wanted to believe that that was part of my challenge, so I stayed and I let myself feel such heavy discomfort, thinking it was growth. Girl, why is this little 24-year-old? I can hear how mean they are in my head still. They were so mean to me. It took me 2 weeks of unemployment to get this dream job, and I fell into it. I didn't even know I applied to it. I was applying to so many jobs because the Capricorn in me was like, get a job, girl. So on August 12th, and so much gratitude, I start my new job at the med spa tomorrow, and I applied to it because of the money. It said hourly. So the med spa I worked at, it was plastic surgery, med spa, and T clinic, testosterone. They hired me as the receptionist because I worked all these, desk jobs. And I had my cosmetology stuff, but I was like, I didn't like doing it at the time. I hired at this job and I'm like, whoa, I just like entered a new reality because I worked at a very nice, luxurious med spa. Like some of the surgeons you see on Orange County Housewives that's who I was working with. They're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I want to be in the back with you guys, but I have to go to nursing school. And they were like, no, you don't. We're a private practice. And controversial, but private practices can do this. They trained me as a medical assistant and the doctor wrote off my hours. And that was the start to who I am now. Quit this awful job despite my beliefs of staying to be loyal and responsible, right? That's what we all do. We stay because it's not responsible to quit a job and not have income. I bought a new car like a month before I quit that job. I had no idea how I was going to pay for things. My apartment flooded 3 times in a week, okay, before I quit that job. My whole life was falling apart. This place of I have nothing else to do with my time but meditate and manifest a new life, because what is happening? Just to quickly go over my journey here, because I got hired at the med spa and I grew and I learned a new version of myself and I surrounded myself around wealthy people every day and people with self-worth, I became that person. That gave me more self-worth. When we moved to Tennessee, I went straight to a med spa because I was like, this is my career. I love it now. Day 5 of employment, at this med spa in Tennessee. I come from California with these two very respected, well-known places. 5th day here in Tennessee, they're like, we want you to be manager. Okay. So I'm like, I made it. That laser center was a chain and it was corporate world. It just wasn't a good fit for me. I didn't like some of the things that were going on in the background. I quit. Again, queen of quitting jobs. I was working 3 jobs: the med spa, the laser center, a hair salon, and the waxing center. I quit all 3 same day. That was the day where I went through that journey in 2019 all over again. All over again. I was like, this is happening again because of me. It's my choice. It's another tower moment. That's what we call it. Like, I'm going to start a business. Never give up. And if you start all over again, it's okay. It's literally an opportunity if you see it as an opportunity. Can you imagine if I stayed because I was going to please other people, please my parents that I was in a stable job, please my boss, and not walk out the door because I walked out? That's how bad it was. So yeah, I would rather quit and go all in on myself because I trust myself that I can rely on myself to build a business that profits enough to pay 100% of my own health insurance, 401k, maternity leave for the future, and take vacations whenever the fuck I want. And I'm happy every single day at work. You can have it all. You can have it all. But there is a leap required first, and it is so scary and it is hard. That is the trade-off. You have to do the thing to get what you want. Like, you have to do this thing you don't want to do. And it's usually at a point in your life where nothing's really going right. And it's like, that's the sign. That's your soul screaming at you. You're not living for you. This is not the life you're meant to live. That's why you're so unhappy. Your soul is screaming for you to go after more.